We're a little early for our plant power half hour, Paula, but we're going to get it in this week. So welcome to the plant power half hour. How are you today?
Good morning. Just smelling all these oils we're going to talk about today. This is
I
a
love it.
nice group today. I like this. They have some great similarities, so this will be fun to chat about.
Yeah, so we have four oils for you. We're just wrapping up. This is our last week of It All Began in the Garden. It's by Donna here, Donna Camp. Donna Camp is hold it in front of me. Donna Camp is the author of this book that we have been studying and doing book reports on weekly for 2 months. We've done about 8 episodes, and today we have four new plants for you, the last four of the book, and that's going to include tea tree, melaleuca, which is tea tree, manuka. Help me out here. Myrtle and
Cedarwood
cedar. Yeah, there we go. Cedarwood, manuka. Yeah. Wow,
and
my
myrtle.
brain is slow. Myrtle. Yeah. So we have four of them. So stick with us. This is an interesting mix of them. We have tea tree, which is typically from Australia. And then myrtle, sorry, not myrtle, melaleuca. No, I keep saying the wrong words. We can't put this combination together. This is
Manuka.
hysterical. Manuka, which is from New Zealand.
Yes.
So we're getting out of the US a little bit. So we'll kick it off with tea tree in Australia. There is another network marketing company called Melaleuca that is built an entire profile of products around using tea tree. The Latin name Melaleuca alternifolia. That's why I just keep messing it up because it's hard for me to say tea tree because I can only call it Melaleuca. But they've hair products, toothpaste, toothbrush, like cleaning products. They have all kinds of different products built around this ingredient, using this ingredient as their proprietary ingredient in a lot of their formulas. So talk about how powerful it is. What kind of experience have you had with tea tree, Melaleuca?
Yeah, this is like the first go-to for skin and hair concerns. I have many customers, it's more so men that really like tea tree when there's anything going on with their scalp, with their face. They're like, I need tea tree, I need tea tree. And they grab that. They know of that because, like you said, it's been around for so long. People have been using it since the 1700s. And even before essential oils became really popular in the past decade or so, tea tree or melaleuca oil was out there.
Yeah.
Most of us had a bottle of it in our cabinet, but we didn't really know what to do with it. It didn't smell so great, so we weren't exactly making it into air fresheners or anything, but we knew we needed to have it in our cabinet if there were any concerns or spots or things that needed attention. That was what you're supposed to put on it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it has the properties that help with those spots, as you call them. In the book, it talks about the Aboriginal Australians have long understood the healing powers of tea tree, so much so that their soldiers would have this antiseptic in their kits during World War II. So they used it as, something that you'd find in the medicine cabinet. When we think of medicines, it's always been categorized in the medicine or in the medicine cabinet. But in fact, it, is not necessarily just used for medicine. It can be used for diffusing. It can be used for cleaning and freshening the air. It does. When you start using it, you actually enjoy the scent of it because it really does give a clean, fresh scent. That's how rather than using something that plugged into the wall or light a candle on fire, to me, if I want a clean, fresh scent, I would use tea tree. I would diffuse tea tree oil. Pine sol. Some people think of pine sol, the cleaning thing is because grandma used to use it to clean the carpets, and they think that's a clean, fresh scent when they smell pine. For me, it was tea tree because I was used, I had overexposure to chemicals when I was a child. I was in a car accident and dumped with gas and oil. And so I had to always use products that were less chemical in nature. And so tea tree was used for everything in my house when I was growing up as a kid. Any kind of thing that happened for me, I had to use tea tree. And for that clean, fresh scent, it was tea tree. So for some folks, it was that pine sol scent. For me, it was tea tree. So um, how about you? How have you personally had any experiences with it? I know you mentioned clients, but
Mainly for me, it's just that teenage skin or those monthly red
Breakouts.
spots
Yeah.
is where we
Yeah.
bring that out for the majority of the time. Or the other thing that we like to use this for is toes, toenails,
Oh.
foot soaks, things like that. So it's really soothing and helpful for that. But again, this is another one that if you don't like the scent of it, put it on your feet, let your body absorb it. But utilizing it on your skin and just those spot areas before bed is perfect as well. So that can be really helpful. Massaging it into the scalp can be really helpful as well. I love the recipe that she put in here. She has she has actually a few really good recipes in here for this topic. The first one is for your cuticles, and it's mixing tea tree with vitamin E oil and then
Yeah.
massaging that into your cuticles to moisturize and fight any issues there. And then she's also got a breakout buster roll on. So she's combining 8 drops of tea tree, 8 drops palmarosa, 6 drops copaiba, 6 drops lavender, and 4 drops manuka in a roller, and then topping the rest with grapeseed or another carrier oil, where you can just rub it on those problem areas as well. So simple, easy to use, and all the rest of those super great skin support in there as well. And then she also references using tea tree on your wool dryer balls for that fresh experience, like Lisa mentioned earlier.
I've
Um,
never tried that, and I do use those wool dryer balls. So
mhm,
that's, I mean, that's kind of neutral. You've all heard
yeah.
my geranium on my husband's clothes story. So this would be much more universal for a fragrance. And so I want to try that because I want to see if it does kind of infuse it. And the other one I was thinking of is maybe setting aside a couple of those dryer balls with citronella on them. We're coming into that time, doing some camping here coming up in a couple of weeks.
Mm,
And I often wash the clothes in citronella oil or put it in the dryer at the end. So there's just that faint hint of
mhm.
it. And then, put it on something in cotton balls and put them in my pockets and my socks. But
Yeah,
I
what
was
a great
wondering,
idea.
citronella would might be an interesting, but tea tree on the dryer balls. Yeah, that was a new one for me. I've never done it.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. This is distilled from the leaves of the tree. Um, so just like some of the other ones, it depends on what part of the product has the most essential oil value. And for tea tree, it's through the leaves. Manuka is our next one.
That is our New Zealand product. Yeah, Manuka honey is known throughout the world for its properties. And again, this is skin. Oftentimes people use this for skin, even things like sunburns. It can be something that's very soothing to the touch on a sunburn. It cools it down. It stops that burning that can linger for a while after you come inside. What I found most interesting about this one is there's a paragraph in here that it says, according to the New Zealand Ministry of Primary Industries, more than 5 times as much manuka honey is sold worldwide as in their country actually produces, as what their country actually produces. 5 times. So check your product. Is it truly from New Zealand? Because this is a New Zealand bush or plant that the bees will take the pollen from, and they make the honey from it. And it's also the New Zealand plant that is used to produce the essential oil. So if it is really truly Manuka essential oil or Manuka honey, you want to make sure that it comes from New Zealand and not, Mexico, where it might grow as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so fascinating to see how things, once people learn about how beneficial they are, how they try to duplicate it or use fake options to market it. Lavender is the same way. You have to make sure that it's a real lavender plant and sustainably grown and carefully harvested and distilled so that it's not contaminated or diluted. You really want the real thing to get the full benefit. Manuka comes from the branches and the leaves of the plant. Um, And I love in here, she references again, this can be used for nails and skin, like we talked about, similar to tea tree. It does smell a little bit sweeter and softer than tea tree. So if that's tea tree is a little bit intense, you might like manuka a little bit better. But again, you can use it for adding to your cleanser when you're cleaning your face. You can use it on nails. She also references mixing a few drops of manuka with a carrier oil to make a nice DIY hair mask. So I haven't tried that, but that makes complete sense because it is so helpful for scalp and skin and hair. So I'll definitely be trying that. And then she also references using it as a foot soak. This I have done, putting it with a little bit of Epsom salt. You drop the oil on the Epsom salt, let it soak into the salt, and then you're adding the salt to a basin of warm water, soaking your feet in it for at least 10 or more minutes. I stay in there as long as I can until the water gets cold, usually, but feels so good on the feet. And then she has a great inner glow skin serum recipe. So this one combines a lot of the other ones that we've talked about in previous ones, putting them all together to make this great face serum. Includes 10 drops of frankincense, 8 drops of cedarwood, 8 drops of lavender, 5 drops of manuka, and 5 drops of geranium, right? These are all great ones for skin. Combine that in a 2-ounce glass bottle with a dropper top, and then put with your favorite carrier. You can use grapeseed or argan or jojoba or whatever oil that you like as your carrier. And then you're just going to apply a little bit of that to your face morning and evening.
So I wanted to touch on the carrier oils a little bit because all of these have an affinity for a little bit older skin, drier, maybe thin skin, skin that is starting to age slightly. All of these are recommended when you look up for aging skin. You'll find these kinds of oils in those products. And though grapeseed is a great oil, there are other oils that really have an affinity for older skin that are more moisturizing, that can penetrate deeper on different levels. So I would encourage you. We did put up a handout on the Plant Power half hour, the plantpower.now.site website has a handout with all of the carrier oils and which ones are used for different things. And so there's some stuff on there that, maybe read about what all those different carrier oils, the benefits of them, the nutrients, the vitamins and minerals in them, and see if there's one that might be more ideal for your skin type, and then add these oils to it. So that's the only caveat that I would do there is like check some, you could take this up to the next level. The oils are going to do the essential oils are going to do most of the work, but why not put it in a carrier oil that is going to even add that little extra kick and make it even that much better.
And so multiversatile too. What one person needs for controlling oil in their skin, manuka or tea tree, also has benefits for moisturizing skin as well. So the oil itself is powerful, but then what specific needs you have, combining it with a targeted carrier oil, yeah, what a beautiful serum to just make your skin feel amazing and lush and smooth. Absolutely.
Uh, Cedar next or myrtle?
Yeah,
Cedar?
cedarwood.
Cedarwood, here it is. Skin, hair, and we're adding a new component that would be sleep. A little bit of cedarwood, up here, somewhere around here, where you can actually smell it. This one, I love the fragrance of this. Some people find it a little deep and woodsy, but I love the scent of this. Cedarwood and sandalwood are my 2 nighttime sleep buddies. You can diffuse in your room for 30 minutes before bedtime and then turn the diffuser off, and that scent will just linger in the air to help calm the nervous system as you're crawling into those sheets. Again, washing your linens, washing your sheets or your pillowcases, or throwing a drip or drop of this on an old sock or a wool ball, and putting your pillows to fluff them up. Putting your pillows in the dryer with those wool balls will kind of give a little bit of that scent to the pillows. So it's not overbearing, it's not super strong, but it's subtle enough that it helps to penetrate, that you're taking it in and you can actually smell it and drift off into, a deep, relaxing sleep. So that's how I like to use both cedarwood and sandalwood. Also bug repellent. I'm focused on camping right now. What can I do for camping? So cedarwood, we use cedar closets, the cedar chips and cedar wood in closets so that we don't get bugs in there. Old closets were built out. I have cedar planks that I put in my clothes bags. Like I have winter clothes that are sweaters and coats, and I take and add an additional drop or two of the cedar to the cedar planks, and I put them in the bottom of those zip up bags when I store them for the season. And again, I've never had, for years, I've had a family heirloom. Sorry for all of the PETA people, but they used to do mink coats and fur coats, and I do have an old mink coat that has been around for a really, really, really long time. And being that I'm moving right now, I took it out to inspect it, and it smells like cedar wood because I've had had it in cedar planks for years, and I keep schlepping it around. And unfortunately, this will be the last schlep. There's not going to be another mink coat move, but I am sending it to a friend who's a seamstress and is going to maybe take the arms and make a muff out of it or use different pieces of that because I hate to waste it. Some animals gave up their life for it. We already have it, but it's 30 plus years old, maybe even older than that, and in mint condition, like hardly ever been worn, and it's just in beautiful shape. And I contribute that cedar wood a lot to the longevity of some of the clothes and things that I have. So cedar wood for, chips, cedar chips around your trees and your plants. There's a reason that we use cedar wood around them. It keeps the bugs away from those new baby plants. You can use it in the bottom of your house plants if you're prone to getting ants or aphids or something of that nature. So think of cedar wood when you're thinking of sleep and bugs. That's my motto.
Awesome. I like that. I did not know that about in the plant. So could I put that on like some of the moss or mulch on top of
Yeah,
the
use Spanish
plant?
moss with a
Or
little bit of cedar on it.
nice. I like that. I like that. So I often get the comment from some of my customers that they don't like cedarwood because it reminds them of when they had a pet hamster, or it reminds them of their cat litter. Because so often those products were made of cedar or had that cedar scent. And that's the power of the limbic center of our brain, right? We associate a scent with a memory. It just ties it together. So the drudgery of cleaning the animal cage or the litter box goes right along with that cedar scent for them, right?
Never
Now
knew
that
that.
they are no longer dealing with hamster cages,
Hamster.
all of those things, they can actually change that connection by building some new memories. So, new memories can be formed, and maybe starting gently into it to warm up to the scent again is putting cedarwood with orange or cedarwood with lavender and diffusing those together overnight, or putting them on the feet together instead of just cedarwood alone helps build that new experience together. Because then they can actually get those benefits, like you talked about, of great sleep. Or during the daytime, cedarwood is amazing for focus too. Frankincense is my first choice for focus, but cedarwood is a less expensive option that's really great for helping the brain focus because again, it's has the sesquiterpenes that impact the body and super beneficial on that side. But if you're not really warmed up to the scent of it, that might be a good way to reintroduce it or reestablish these new pathways of memories and connection in there as well. So go slow, go easy. You don't have to force your body into it. You will gently adapt to it as you start using it occasionally.
Yeah. There's two references to the Bible on this one.
Yeah.
We've heard of the cedars. Psalm 104:16, King David calls cedars the trees of the Lord, which he hath planted. And then 1 Kings 6:9, he built the house and finished it and covered the house with beams and boards of cedar. So this again has been used in everyday life, just as part of our living space, and it lasts and lasts and lasts. It's a very strong, hard wood, and it also gives us this amazing blend of essential oils that can be used as a base, as Paula said, as a base for adding other essential oils to it. And I didn't know that thing about the hamsters, the little shaving. I never had a hamster, and I didn't have the cat litter box, so I had no idea that was cedar. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of my customers. They're like, nope, I don't want that one.
Yeah, funny. All
Um,
right, Myrtle. Any other final thoughts on that one before we pop
this
over to Myrtle?
cedarwood is also really well loved by a lot of my male customers as well. They're concerned with some lack of hair or thinning areas. So adding cedarwood to their scalp or adding it into their shampoo or conditioner have been really beneficial. So they're enjoying that, helping them re-stimulate that area. It's very helpful for that. But again, right, you're putting it near your brain, helps with that
Focus.
focus as well as rest and calm sleep. So whether you're showering in the morning or showering at night, the brain's getting it, the body's absorbing it, and then especially those hair follicles are getting supported there too. So many benefits. Like every oil, we think of like the one main reason to use it, but there's often 5, 10, or like frankincense, hundreds of
Focus.
uses for it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that we're going through this book because she brings to mind some of the other ways that, oh yeah, I knew that before, but I haven't been putting it into action. And this is really helping me put it into action in different ways or coming back to the surface again, how
Yeah.
it can be used if maybe I didn't have that need before, but now I'm like, oh yeah, now I'm ready to try that again. Let me bring that back into the mix.
People think of needing hundreds of oils, and really what you need is one oil that does hundreds of things. Where do we
Mhm.
start? Start with one. Start with one. And the whole goal with using essential oils is really to remove the chemicals from your house. I've been using essential oils for as long as I can remember. And, it was because I had an overexposure to chemicals and I couldn't use other chemicals. They may have been less expensive back then. They may have been, easier to get. I don't know. But it wasn't safe for me to use like those chemical cleaning products or traditional soap, shampoo or traditional soap for your laundry and your linens. So I made my own. My mom and I started making my own of all that stuff really, really young age with the using essential oils as the base. So it's just start. We don't need to overexpose our kids to the chemicals and all the things that are out there in the world when nature has done all the heavy lifting for us. It's done all the work. It's created plants that can help us, whether it's, those hair follicles or helping us to fall asleep at night or to cleaning our clothes. Where do you want to start in your journey with essential oils? What is the reason that you would start using it? Is it to get rid of the chemicals in your house? Is it to keep the bugs off you when you go camping? Is it to help you with sleep? So think of a way that you could start to incorporate some of these essential oils into your daily living and then give it a try. Reach out if you need help for direction on where to start and what to use. But myrtle's another great one.
Mhm.
How do
Mhm.
you use myrtle? What do you know about myrtle, Paula?
Myrtle is one that I really don't think about unless there's congestion in the sinuses or the chest. That's when I bring it out
Yeah.
and get it diffusing, or I make a chest rub with some coconut oil and
Mhm.
utilize it that way. That's my primary way to use it.
That's
How
the
about
only
you?
way that I've ever used it too is chest rub. Yeah.
Mhm.
And even too, like the reflexology points on the feet, this one's it's very mild. It's not too spicy or hot or anything. And so the tops of your feet are really sensitive, but those are the pressure points for the respiratory system, the meridians on the tops of your feet between your toes. So this is a great one if you're going to just rub a little on the chest. Also put a little bit on the tops of the feet, and then you can even just rub on that big toe a little bit and rub on the thumb. Just opening up and increasing circulation throughout the body from head to toe. This is a great one to do that. And it
Yeah.
works. I like it in conjunction with cypress because cypress, it just increases
Right.
circulation throughout the whole body. So they're beautiful, beautiful paired together. And then they just, circulate throughout your whole system. So I
Mhm.
have used it in conjunction with cypress.
Yeah, this is one that I do diffuse. It is refreshing in the diffuser, so I like that. Obviously, very different scent than these other three that we've talked about today. Um, but she has recommendations for what to put in your diffuser with it, as bergamot, lavender, lemon, lemongrass, and spearmint. And I have definitely done the myrtle and spearmint together. That is beautiful. That is
Oh.
spa-like scent to it. So
Mm.
definitely try that one out. That's a good combination. In here, she also talks about her own personal experience supporting her endocrine system and utilizing it in capsules as well as internally. And a lot of our oils can be used by putting them in veggie capsules by themselves or with carrier oil or with other combinations of oils. But see what your body needs most. Do the research on what might be related to your issue, and then just give it a try and see where that fits. But all of these essential oils are highly concentrated. So more doesn't necessarily mean it's going to help you more. You really are wasting it if you're using too much. Start low, start slow. Only a drop or two is really all you need. So a large bottle like this, has 300 drops in it. That's going to take a long time if you're only using a drop or two a day. A smaller bottle, like the 5 milliliter size, that has 90 drops in it. Still, it's gonna take a while to go through those. Even if you're using them every day, they're gonna be very effective price points when you're stretching it out over time and using only a tiny bit. You don't have to use a lot.
Beautiful. There is a scripture on this one as well from Isaiah 55:13. Instead of the thorn shall come up the fir tree, and instead of the briar shall come up the myrtle tree. And it shall be to the Lord for a name, for an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. I don't know where exactly that's referencing. I can't add anything to it, but it's there, Isaiah 55:13, if that's something that you want to look up. The reason that we share those scriptures with you is to let you know that these products they've been provided. It talks about it in Genesis that the food and the leaves, or the leaves and the trees, have been provided to support our health and our wellness, to be food for us. So we have access to this stuff that we sometimes forget. These are ancient ways, but they don't have to be only ancient ways. They can still be used today. They're still available to us today. We can go out and grab a plant and crunch up those leaves and take a smell of it, get that essential oil and rub it right on our body. We don't actually, we don't have to steam distill it and everything. It's just a more economical way of accessing the essential oils is when we steam distill it, and we can bottle it and make it readily available for people. But if we did ever have a pulse, if we did ever have a need where all of our technology went away and we had to live on our own, the trees and the plants and those things, they're still here. We still have access to them. And so studying this material and learning how to use some of these products will serve you, whether it's now, in the future, with your children, when something comes up in your health or wellness, and you need something that doesn't have the chemical nature to it. It's a good knowledge to have and
Mhm.
have access to in case you need it.
Yeah. And you don't have to remember it all. When you find some great resources and reference tools like this, it's handy. I don't know how many pages I've underlined and marked in this book to come back to, as well as recipes on how to use it. Sometimes I have an oil on my shelf and I'm like, I haven't used that one in a while. What do I need
Look
to
it
do
up.
with that? And then
Yeah.
it's easy to have that quick reference to, oh yeah, I could use it for this. Let's bring that back into the daily mix again.
Yeah. Just like herbs, I use probably the same 20 herbs all the time. I can do everything with about 20 herbs. I don't need to go any deeper with that stuff, but the growth and the knowledge comes from trying something new. And so we buy those new oils and then we don't use them. So try to use them up. Try to use those oils up that you enjoyed one time and wanted to try it, but you haven't done anything with it since. Go find one you haven't used in a while. Great
Yeah,
idea. Final
absolutely.
thoughts on that. Final thoughts, because this is our last episode with this book. We've covered all of the plants in here, so go back and look at the entire series if you want more information or commentary on what it is that you're reading. And then I'll throw it to you, Paula. What do you have for final thoughts on this? How was this journey through? It all began in a garden. How was this journey for you?
I love this. And it's a beautiful combination of combining scripture, combining plants and oils, the historical reasons we used them in the past, the current reasons we use them, and then the real DIY recipes in the mix has been fantastic to just reinvigorate me on those things. But the most fun is talking this over with you so that we can bring this front of mind. We can share our own experiences and your great stories on how these have been used in your life are so fun to see. What are
Okay.
you doing? What am I doing? Oh, we can come up with some great more new ideas as well. So thank you for doing this with me.
My pleasure. We need to expand this, invite some of our herbal friends on and get some of their stories too, because it's not just
Mhm.
about us. We're here to serve and make sure that you have the resources you need. So thanks for letting us share our stories, and we'd love to hear from you. How are you using essential oils? What are the benefits that you're getting from them? And what do people need to know from your experience? So we invite you to share in any of the videos that you watch. Feel free to leave comments so that we can spread the word. All right, we don't know what we're talking about next week, so you're just going to have to come on back and learn all about it. But thank you so much for staying with us through this series, and we look forward to serving you on the next one. And we'll announce that next week. Come on back, everybody. Thanks for being here.